to the north fence line, and then the White House was locked down. I'm not sure whether that lockdown has still been in effect or whether the White House has lifted it. We did see a couple
So, protests across the country erupt. Somebody really screwed the pooch, and I think we all know who screwed the pooch. I'm going to repeat something that I found out a little earlier. Let's go ahead and get back into the protests across the country, the speakers across the country, and dealing with the protests. I'm here in Minneapolis, and right, some of the inside info. These two, Clyde Lloyd and the police officer, I'll just refer to him as that, worked at the same bar. So, you can't say they didn't know each other. They didn't know each other. I'm going to find out more information on that. If I am incorrect on that, I doubt it, because the bar owner came out and talked about it. So I will inform you of the information as I get it that you're not hearing on the news. As I mentioned last night, pardon me, I'm eating. I have very little time to do what I do and get sleep as well. But just looking at, now this is in Atlanta, Georgia. We have speakers getting up and talking about the different protests across the country. As I mentioned earlier, somebody really screwed the pooch. And of course, that was because you can't murder people, especially because you begrudge them in some way. So you want to call this third-degree murder? Even though they knew each other. Right. Well, I'm going to once again verify the data that I have received. I report to you to inform you of the information, to encourage a calm resolve, and realize the target that needs to be addressed here is not every Target, Walmart, and Kmart. We need to keep a calm head. And I know you're like, well, you're not, you're white. No, I'm Greek. But in fact, it's not about color at all. And this whole race thing being brought into it over and over again is reinforcing the brainwashing. We need to break ourselves out of that brainwashed attitude of the black and white and gray and green and brown and whatever. You got a turban on your head, you got a mask on your face. This was pre-planned long ago. The people that do the research on it will see that. And I'll bring it up again. The Rockefeller Report of 2010 that explains and just puts this all down with the virus starting in China, everything, every little step that's happening here. And also the Bill Gates speech of 2017 on climate change at TED Talks. There are a variety of open issues that you just take a look at them and realize this has been a setup from the beginning for one thing, the population control, the over-oppression, and once again, the slaughter of 1.5 billion. As mentioned, I think Gates would have done well just to send out the hypos to people and tell them to stick them in their arms. A good percentage would have gone ahead and done it because, yeah, they're jumping off a cliff, and for me to run out there and try and stop them, I'll just get pushed over the cliff myself. So realizing what I can do about things, what I can't do about things, what I can inform you of, and to try to keep my information proper and right and not misinform you of details. However, when the bar owner comes out and says they both used to work at my bar as bouncers, and police officers are allowed part-time jobs as bouncers and such, security, and probably any other job that they want to get part-time. But that isn't part of what I'm doing here. I'm just letting you know and showing you the people that aren't in the Minneapolis area, showing you what's on the news in this area. And they're still talking about the protests around the country. Now they have the Atlanta, Georgia being focused on. And once again, their separation and segregation is just the beginning. After that, it is starvation and Yeah, it's a step-by-step process that has been used before. This is just a new twist on it. And the murder, I'm sure, was not originally intentional, but the whack job probably smoked too much crack that day and decided he'd kneel on Mr. Floyd's neck. And what a cheap piece of shit that guy is. And he, personally, what do I feel? I feel he should be treated just as Mr. Floyd was treated and publicly executed. That's how I feel. So maybe that's a little too rash. Maybe we should go through the court system. Maybe we should make him sit in a cell for the rest of his life. Well, then he lives. And he openly killed somebody on camera. He needs to pay for this. He needs to pay for this. So, I do not encourage violent rioting. I do encourage standing up together. But this is one of those wrong times. This possibly could have been pre-planned to see what sort of uprising would occur. But no, I don't think so. I think it was a screw in the cogs that they had not intended or planned on. And there are going to be a lot of those, you shadow people, the people that are manipulating our society. Got a little news for you. You didn't plan on me either. And I'm going to be doing stuff you won't possibly believe. Because I can, and because the Creator lets me, whoever that is, or whatever that is. And if you're an atheist, well, I'm going to hell for that one. So like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to get back into the newscast that's going on here in Minneapolis and see what kind of propaganda that they are promoting at this time.
A scene like you saw in Iraq here at home. The protesters now have
See?
moved closer. So this
Right
street
away.
was closed off, Sean. This street was completely closed off, and the National Guard retreated, and now...
So why would she say you will see a scene like you saw in Iraq here at home? Why would she say that, aside to incite fear and discomfort and disrupt? Let's see what else she's got to propagate here.
Just going into effect a short while ago, clearly the State Patrol is saying they are going to enforce that curfew. What will happen next? We just don't know. But these protesters out here, they've come with jugs of milk. They have come with the attitude that they will be out here, and they are going to stay out here. They say they want those 3 other officers arrested, and they will protest and they will riot until that happens.
All right, Courtney, thank you tonight. Now, earlier today, the officer, Derek Chauvin, who's seen kneeling on George Floyd's neck for 8 solid minutes plus, until he couldn't breathe, was charged with 3rd-degree murder and manslaughter. This is in a case. There's not Republican-Democrat disagreement here, liberal-conservative disagreement. There is universal condemnation of that 8-minute video of the knee pushing Mr. Floyd's head right into the pavement.
And so what you haven't heard, and I'm going to put it back on again, will we hear the fact that they work together?
Police officer Derek Chauvin is in custody. He has been charged with 3rd-degree murder. We are in the process of continuing to review the evidence. There may be subsequent charges later. The investigation is ongoing. We felt it appropriate to focus on the most dangerous perpetrator. I must say that this case has moved with extraordinary speed.
Oh, extraordinary. You guys are fantastic. Just keep patting yourselves on the back for your extraordinary speed. All right, guys. I'm going to keep you posted. As I find out things, I will let you know things. And there's going to be a lot more coming on to the mainstream. So watch that crap and realize how much they're not telling you, because I am telling you. And if I, once again, find any misinformation on my or their part, I'm going to let you know. Thanks. Thanks for caring.